issue because I honestly forgot to switch it to my computer. So as I was saying, everybody who is watching the recording, everybody who's here live, I'm really thankful for y'all. I'm proud of you guys for continuously working on yourself. And I'm also just really appreciative of the fact that I'm surrounded by people that are 2 percenters and not 98 percenters. 98 percenters get to this time of year and they trail off. They don't do anything. They completely lack in their work ethic. They tone down on going after their goals and they do less than they do the other 75% of the year in this quarter. And so I'm just really proud of you guys that are stepping up, proud of you guys that are ramping up the activity, that are getting more productive, that are getting more serious, that are getting more consistent and more disciplined. And the fact that you show up here every single Saturday or show up to watch this recording every week just makes me grateful for what we've built in the culture. So with that being said, I'm gonna let Michelle kick us off because I know she has to literally get on a call like right now. Oh,
Amber.
actually, just kidding. Okay, just kidding.
Michelle
Or
can go
Amber.
first.
Okay.
Michelle can go first.
I appreciate you, girl. Thanks, guys.
One
Yeah,
of the ladies. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
just to reiterate what you just kind of mentioned briefly about us being like the 2 percenters, the 1 and the 2 percenters who religiously show up here on every Saturday, to really not just pour into whatever our individual business ventures are, but into ourselves. Because you have to be able to fill your cup so that you can fill others' cups up, right? And with that being said, that involves sleep, that involves health, that involves nutrition, that involves your spiritual walk, that involves all those things embodied into how you really just become a leader, not only of like whatever community you have, but you're a leader of yourself. Like you need to be able to lead yourself. You know what I'm saying? And so chapter 15 kind of goes into that, where, you must help people do things they would not otherwise accomplish without your presence. Whether it be that you're jumping on a call with someone or you're shooting someone a text, like I always say, I want to be someone that I don't need to be on the phone with this person every single day, but I know that they know that if they absolutely need something or need me, when they hear from me, it gives them a little bit of like a boost, puts a little bit of fire under their ass to like get something done today. They know that I'm going to ask them like, what's popping? Like, where have you been at? Where are your goals at? Like, what are your dreams? Because everyone, like Ed Mylett says, everyone's born with unique gifts. And, some people just need that drive to be able to see the certainty, and they need to be able to connect the significance to then grow, contribute, and then rinse, repeat over and over and over again. Anniversary of like us being a part of this amazing community of like chapter 16, all those principles that he talks about, every single one of them literally is TGF ATX. And I know when y'all read that chapter, you guys all thought the same because it's crazy. I'm like, oh, we already have we don't just have the blueprint, we've already put in action months ago. And so it's just so awesome because if you're an effective leader, right, listening to what people really want to accomplish, you're then able to give them the right tools depending on whatever stage that they're in, and you're also able to give them tools that they may not at that very moment see for themselves are even possible, right? And so you're just planting little seeds, right? You're pouring value into people when they may not even see their own value themselves. Okay. A lot of people that aren't on this call may be going through a lot of stuff. They may just not have the energy to be able to be on this call, but little did they know that this call right here would be like the best jumpstart to their day. Man, like, what are we like? Listen to what we're talking about here. We're talking about pouring certainty in uncertain times to people, right? Always showing up, working hard, maintaining your ethical standards at all times, in the lows and in the highs. Austin's a perfect example of that. Perfect example, has not slipped up. Okay, many of y'all don't know his story. Connect with him. He'd be happy to share it. If you find yourself where you think that you're in a position where you're stuck, well, then you need to get unstuck because you don't have an excuse. You're part of an amazing freaking community that if you wanted to go and make bread today, they can literally show you. Hit up your leaders, Marcus, Mikkel, whoever, whether it be DMM, and you need to hit up Austin and Kelsey, whether it be Powerful Creators, hit up Amber. All the leaders are on this call. And all the sub businesses are on this call. All the leaders are here. You don't know how to reach them, hit me up and I'll put you in contact with them. But there's really just no excuses. And so when these men get fired up on these calls, men and women, I get it. Because y'all, we're in a season where there is no time for an off season. Inflation and recession is at its all-time high, but more importantly, our faith is always in place and in tune. And so we have time to be uncertain. This is our this is what God wanted us in his plan. This is our plan, and so you just have to have belief. So chapter 16, having the mission, being authentic, being humble, having the culture, giving people the resources they need to be successful, building a movement, a network, global network, all things extraordinary. So there is not time for the ordinary. There just isn't. Okay. And I know I'm listening to myself and I'm sure I sound like I'm like people from the outside be like, she's tripping. I'm not. So if this is your first time catching this recording, consider yourself blessed. God will put you in a lane with people that are about to literally help you transform your freaking life. I'm telling you, like, I don't know that I would have ever stopped being a nurse, but I got fired on Monday from one of my jobs. And I'm cool. I'm good. Because of my company I keep around me, man. I only hang out with 1% and 2%ers. Because if I didn't, I'd be part of the 98%. And I'm not about that. And this isn't me putting anybody else down. This is me just saying, yo, I have a mission, and therefore that is the only thing I'm on. That's what he says. You have to have a crusade. Literally a crusade. This is a crusade, y'all. And God chose us. So you have a big responsibility on your plate. And if you're not abiding by it, check yourself. Get around the campfire. Like, I'm not talking about you're standing like so that the flame doesn't hit you. No, I want you so close to the damn campfire that you're like, oh shit, let me back up just a little bit because I'm about to get burnt. Like, be in the damn campfire. You have to. 2024 is what? We're shy of 2.5 weeks away. Treat today like it's January 1st. What are you talking about? Don't wait. And so going into chapter 17, I had to literally Google the pronunciation of this word because I was like, hold up. I feel like some Buddha like guru guy had used this one time, and like it is. Equanimity is. That's what it really is. I've had to pull up a really dope quote of this because I'm like, man, how do I really cultivate that? How do I cultivate equanimity, right? Well, first of all, you develop an attitude of non-attachment. So when difficulties arise in your life, like getting fired from a job, okay, non-attachment keeps you from reacting to unpleasant human behaviors or undesirable events. Crying, victim mentality, putting myself in a box, thinking it's the end of the world in the middle of a holidays. And then the second step is practice mindfulness, prayer, meditation, picking up a book, talking to your leaders who are also your best friends. Practice self-compassion, be good to yourself. Maybe this is a blessing in disguise that God is giving you. I don't know. So those are 3 steps that I had already put into action this week. Man, and I'm thanking God, I'm sitting here on Saturday like I'm cool. I know like I have all my ducks in a row. And if I didn't, that's okay, because I have the belief that I may not know what's going to happen, but I know that the Lord's going to take care of me. And I know that. And you know what? I ain't going to go through this alone, because look at my friends, bro. They're also in a season. And even better that we're all going through this season, because we can all just literally stand in a line, hold hands, and walk and push and move. So that's just kind of how I feel about these last 3 chapters. And honestly, it's so good, so in alignment with where we're at. Um, I love you guys. This right here, what we have, this unlimited event that's about to take off in the next couple of weeks, it's going to be amazing. And you know what? If it's not like packed, jam packed, and like we can't get fit enough people in the room, but it's just us, even better. Even better. I'm not tripping. Like, we're a whole movement here. We're loud. So I challenge you guys to go and invite people to this event. Man, like everybody, some people may not have the 200, you know what I'm saying? But some people do. Some people just really do. Some people could really save the money instead of spending money on presents that people forget about. How about you give yourself the present of being in the right room at the right time and attending one of the most amazing local events. I like, it's a trip to me because in January I went to that Break the Code event, and I get to kick off this year at one of our own events, dude. That's crazy. I know the boys are super excited about that. Like, not everybody can say that, y'all. That's so, that's on another level, truly. And so I love you guys. I know I kind of went off on a tangent. I'm 12 minutes late to my appointment. Whatever. I love you guys. And I hope you guys have an amazing Saturday. Amber, shout out to you and your event. I have a bunch of calls, so I can't attend, but if you have a Zoom link, I would love to listen in and just be the support, like in the background. I wish you the best over your event. And I love all y'all. I can't wait to see what it is we do in this next season, because it's about to be crazy. Love you guys. Bye.
Thank you so much. And that's a good idea. I should do something like that. So everything that Michelle said was obviously super, super, super on point. Chapter 15 definitely blessed me this week. One of the favorite parts of chapter 15, there was so much value in there, but the one that I kept repeating in my head that really stuck out to me, especially getting ready for this event, was when he said, everybody you lead does not have to believe what you're saying. They only need to believe that you believe what you're saying. And I am so excited to be doing this today, to give value to other people and to really spread the energy of my belief, because that's what we have, that's what we have to give. And I'm just really excited about that. I have 110 things going through my brain right now, but this book club is definitely a good start, to the day. I'm really excited. Being a leader and being with y'all is the only way that I could do this. So thank y'all for so much for y'all's support, y'all's belief in me, for being consistent, for showing up on these calls every single time, for being the 2%ers, because we all need each other. We all need that, and so I just thank y'all so much for that. Let me see something else that I wanted to say. The book. And really just what he was talking about in chapter 15 about selling the big vision and the big dream, and really just talking about it and talking about it enough to where other people see themselves in it. They see that vision, they see themselves in it. And I'm emphasizing that right now because I'm about to do that. I'm about to drop some fire and really allow people to see themselves in the big vision that we have going on. The vision of breaking generational curses, of really being happy, really traveling the world, really being free, really being out here. And one thing that Michelle said too was, there is no time to play games right now. Like Mikkel said, everyone is disappearing, but there is no time to play games. Like, you have to be plugged in. You have to stay close to the campfire. One of the things that I kept hearing from some of my friends and my family, can you hear me? One of the things that I kept hearing from one of my friends and my family about coming to this event whenever I had invited them was how they were so excited to come support me. And they're like, yeah, I want to be there to support you. I want to be there to support you. And then I just stopped them every time they continue to say that, because I was like, this is not about you supporting me. This is about the work that we're going to do in this room. This is not about you supporting me. This is like, I'm so grateful and I'm thankful, yes, but what we're going to do here today is valuable. This has to be done. And my sister called me this morning. She's 20 years old. She has a baby and she was out late last night till 5 a.m. And because of that, she got my mom frustrated. So she basically, she's not going to make it here today. And so I called her and she wanted to give me every excuse in the book about she couldn't make it. I don't know what it's like to be a mom, this, and that. And I could have just sat there and people please and just been like, it's okay, this and that. I said, no, ma'am, no, ma'am. I was like, you should have been here and you could have been here. I was like, I get it. It's difficult with kids. I understand, but it's not impossible. It's not impossible. It's not. And you're my sister and I love you and I have to hold you to a higher standard. I have to. This is not about you supporting me. I love you and I care about you. This event was for you. You are my why, and not like specifically for her, but the vision of my family, of our family growing. My mom's here. So I have to kick off this event. So thank y'all for letting me share. Love y'all so much. And I'll kick it off to the next person.
I'm gonna take that thing so I can head out and be there on time. But what's up, y'all? Shout out the ladies bringing in the fire to kick off the call. Yo, I appreciate the energy, truly. And a lot of it is, I think, timely, bro, especially in terms um, of where we're at as a community, as where the world is at, in the season we find ourselves in. I think that if you are to set yourself apart and remain in that top 1 to 2%, excuse my language, but shit, the top 5%, you literally have to do things that 95%, 98% of people will not do. And it's not that they may or may not know, it's that there is a willingness and a decision being made on, I'm going to do this thing because I need X, Y, and Z. I want and desire to create X, Y, and Z. It doesn't matter what X, Y, and Z is, but any sense of desire of anything that you're going after requires sacrifice. Freedom ain't free, y'all. And it's wild because a lot of people think that, well, I believe in God, he's going to work in my favor. Like, no, he will work in your favor when you're working towards him. And I really do appreciate these chapters because it's just a great reminder of where I'm at and my career, but also like where I'm at in terms of leadership. So starting with chapter 15, I think one of the dopest things that Michelle kind of hit on was the fact that you lead yourself first. And in that process, you have to implement 3 things that he talks about: selling a big dream, everyone is born with unique gifts, and 6 basic needs to drive us. So the first one is, and this is something that honestly, y'all, I cannot make this up. Mikkel and I, driving home from Dallas, and he was on the phone with me, we literally understood and wanted to create. And that's that we need to sell a big enough dream that the dreams of everyone else that you lead can fit inside that one that you're selling. And Mylett says it, but you need to think bigger, you need to talk bigger, you need to act bigger for that to be a possibility. And if you're not talking big enough, it's because you need to lead yourself more. But the more confidence you build when leading yourself, the more you can be certain that the dream that you're giving is going to be able to encompass everybody that is tuning in and buying into the vision. So as a leader, you're in a different place than everyone else. In other words, the way I looked at it was him reminding me, like, don't expect that to be different. Like, that is a fact. If you're a leader, you're in a different position. Not everybody's going to do the things that they know that they need to do. That isn't an excuse for you not to show up. And then everyone being born with unique gifts. I always told everybody all this, like, bro, God gave you something unique to yourself. You need to actually spend some time and utilize what that gift is, and then help bring that value to other people through the service that you provide. And then the 6 basic needs to drive us. I think one of the big ones that stood out to me was what he said, that your validation in your leadership is by setting an example. Most things in life are caught, not taught. So they're going to see you actually do those things and then they'll replicate it. Doesn't matter if you tell them, but make sure if you're telling somebody to perform and show up, that you're performing and showing up. Otherwise, you need to go back to the basics of leading yourself before you lead anyone else. In terms of the 11 principles, I think, let's see. One of the biggest things, number 5, repetition, repetition, repetition. Leadership is not about saying new things to old people. It's about saying old things to new people. Sometimes I feel like I'm going crazy, but I always get reminded by people like Ed, by people like John C. Maxwell, that like if it's worthy of knowing, you need to repeat it as much as possible because that's how the subconscious mind learns. So that was a great reminder. And then being generous with recognition, making sure people understand that they're appreciated, having a crusade, a cause, and a mission, creating a culture, being authentic and humble, giving people the resources they need to be successful. Shout out TGF, y'all. I promise you on everything that before Mikhail and I started actually getting into like what is it we need to do to make sure we're taking care of ourselves, we literally took everything that we had and created resources for all of y'all so that you guys could go and do what you said you wanted to do at a more efficient way, in a more systematic manner. And in that process, I was just reading this thing and I was like, yo, we're doing all of these things. And if I'm being quite frank and honest, like, I don't feel bad. I did. I did. I'm not gonna lie. I felt bad because I knew like I wanted my people to go and win. And I'm like, why are they not pushing themselves? Why are they not plugging in as much as I've emphasized that they should be pushing in? And what I've seen is that out of those 11 things, I obviously still have to work on being more efficient in all of them, but we're doing those things. And as a leader, if if all you can do is all you can do, sometimes the lesson's going to be taught through life, not through you. So in that, just finding those that are part of the top 3 to 2 people that are willing to actually plug in and dive into what it is that you've got going on will allow you to focus and keep your peace, which I think is what he was talking about in chapter 17. So it took me a little bit to understand what equanimity was. I was like, dude, I've never heard that word. That's lit. But overall, it's finding your even mind and soul with an elusive virtue. So making sure that your mind and soul are on the same path. Are you aligned with the intention of the life that you desire most? And is you're beneath the obvious? Like obviously you want to go and do something different, but like the reasons why you're doing it, are those aligned with your soul and what it is you want to accomplish before you're gone? And I think the greatest thing that he really emphasizes in a good part of the chapter is what's needed in order to go and accomplish and get through these challenges, bro. And that is peace. The first 3 verses, Exodus 14:14, the Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. John 14:27, peace I live with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the Lord gives, do I give to you. Or not as the world gives, sorry, do I give to you. Let not your heart be troubled, nor let it be fearful. Let not your heart be troubled, nor let it be fearful. But the meek shall inherit the earth and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. Abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility, and without ill will is how Buddha described a mind that is in tune with equanimity. Abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility, and without ill will. I think in this season of my life, just to be completely honest, I struggled with the ill-hearted and ill will because of my situations and how I felt like I'd been doing absolutely everything. But little do I forget as a human being that you continuously have to always just turn to God, give it to Him, and understand that His burden is light and His yoke is easy. So being able to move with the peace that transcends all understanding in the midst of complete chaos and uncertainty, I find my certainty, I find my peace in God. And I believe that's exactly what he was saying for most people. Like he's an evangelist for God's mission too. Like I don't know if you got peep at Mylett, but he is always expressing his story and his truth and how God is working on his behalf, on how he finds his strength in his creator and like he creates the peace with his faith. And in that process, what story are you telling yourself and what story are you telling other people? Because I know anytime I'm talking to others, I'm always giving it to God. Sometimes I be punishing myself. It's literally my worst attribute about me is I'd be really judgmental on my standards and where I fall and whether or not I meet it. But I've worked on it for years, and I'm at a point in my life where, yo, God is good. We're in a position where we can literally go and impact not just ourselves, but millions of people in that process. And I'm just looking forward to understanding and seeing God be exalted amongst the millions on how he's helped us through these seasons, how he's given us peace when we don't really understand when or how. And in that, just getting us around other believers that are all in for the vision and the mission of, yo, it's real. I don't know if anybody wants to touch on it, but I know I went over with my time. But please talk about where he talked about Kobe. Because that was powerful as well, bro. I'm not gonna lie. He brings up on chapter, I'm just gonna bring it real quick. 220. Okay. Examples of 8 worldly wins might be: we root hard for sports heroes or famous musicians and then discover that they have a severe drug problem, a criminal past, or they unexpectedly pass away, such as Kobe Bryant did. Your life is going to end. And as Michelle said, we do not have time. We do not have time. And to think that we do is the greatest illusion that we tell ourselves. So be mindful that your time is ticking and make sure you make the most of what it is you're given to you. I love these chapters, y'all, and I love you guys. And as Mikhail said, I'm just grateful to be around those that are really about it, and are doing the things that they need to do to get to where they're going. So that being said, I'll pass this thing off. Appreciate y'all.
Well, sheesh. Say it again. My God, always bringing the heat. I don't know what y'all did this morning, but y'all moving and grooving. All you, everybody who went so far, I appreciate the value for sure. Michelle, love you, girl. That shit. Excuse my language, but that was some heat. But yeah, I mean, a lot of my talking points were what a lot of y'all just mentioned. But as I don't know, as far as like touching on what Michelle was talking about too, with like this community and how we literally, embody exactly what he is talking about as far as like when it comes to leadership and cultivating that community where people can learn and grow and really excel and exceed their goals and their dreams. I just am grateful for, just being a part of that and just being able to have that, because I know I've said it on numerous calls, but I've been looking for that, that sense of that family that from people who aren't family, you know what I mean, for a long time, because it is amazing to just have those people around you that do want to push you to do better, do want to push you to excel in life and not just settle and into the 98%. And that honestly, it's wild that we're even talking about it, because I was just like, obviously we've been reading about it, but just the timing of everything, because in my life, I just had to cut off a couple of people who I've known for a while, but have really just been draining the energy and not really with the growth, you know what I mean? And it's all love either way, but I mean, if you want to stay the same, I'm gonna show you love regardless, but I got to grow. I don't know. That's just not how I'm built. I'm just, and that's why I love this community, is because everybody in here is, especially on this call, are about the growth. We are actively seeking things and knowledge and information to change our situations, but not just that, just create a lasting impact on people all around the world. And that is truly, like, I don't know, truly amazing to me. God is really good. I've just been kind of reflecting over this over the past year, as the month of December has been going on. And, like Michelle said, to literally start the year at Break the Code, not not knowing that I was going to meet who I met, and get connected with the people that I've been able to get connected with, like Marcus, like Donnie, Mikhail, everybody on this call. But and then to end the year with our own TGF event, like, I don't know, that seems pretty wild to me and amazing, and just really shows you like how glorious God really is, because he's been moving. He's been moving. He's been testing, and honestly, I just felt it in my life. Like, he's just testing to see if I truly am ready and truly am about that. And that's why I know I've made my mistakes and I've gotten distracted and things like that, but really it's all about just wanting more. I just am tired of, living how I've been living for the past 27 and 8, almost 29 years. But I'm really, just happy that I have found this community. So I just wanted to kind of express that. But going into chapter 15, where he talks about the like leadership and everything, like the 6 basic needs that drive us and things like that. I just, like I said at the beginning, we just really embody that about fitting, like how Amber had mentioned, how fitting everybody, or having a big enough dream to where you can fit everybody else's dreams into it. And I know that we have that. So it's amazing to be able to go out and create the relationships that we have been able to create and cultivate through this, and actually seeing people's dreams come to fruition and grow, like Josh, like Michelle, Josh started his own store, seeing results right, what I mean, right off the gate, or right off the bat, because, he's putting in the work and really just applied what he learned. Same with Michelle, as far as, going into the real estate business. Like, that's something that her and Dylan have been wanting to do. So, just using what she's learned through our community and through her journey, or through their journey, I should say, and really just applying it to their lives and actually taking the action, which is where most people, I feel like, falter as far as like goals and like sticking to them. But then one other thing I was going to touch on real fast. Okay, so at the beginning of chapter 17, the quote, he says, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response, and our response lies our growth and our freedom. Honestly, to me, reading chapter 17, one more degree of equanimity. He says that the definition of equanimity, let me read it here so I don't mess it up. But sorry. Actually, I wrote it down. My fault. Equanimity equals having an even mind. So just really seeking like Marcus said, the peace within our life, to really be able to learn and grow as humans and become the best version of ourselves. Honestly, going through chapter 17, I realized, or was able to recognize, where in life, like, I could have definitely used a lot more equanimity, just because, he says here, we can't control the vast majority of what goes on in our lives, but we can dream, set standards and goals, and adjust our thinking and actions in dozens of different ways. And honestly, I feel like a lot of my life, I've just been trying to control every aspect of it, which was actually hurting me more than it was helping me. So now that, I am aware of it, and like, just being able to let go and let God, it truly is amazing just to have control without actually being in control, if that makes sense. So I appreciate y'all. I know I just kind of rambled a little bit, but whoever wants to go next, I'm not sure if anybody else is available. I think it's just Johnny, Kel, Josh, and T wants to go. Or Ken, I should say.
Unless Don's about to go, I'll take it.
Oh, Mikhail. You opened the cards, man. Totally forgot about you. My fault.
I almost forgot about you. Don, you want to go first? Or you want me to go, bro?
You're good. I'm getting ready right now.
Okay, bet. Well, first and foremost, bro, everybody been snapping. And I'm actually extremely happy, thankful, and grateful that hit you like it did, bro. I literally was thinking about you as I read that part too. You know, like many thoughts of Squad literally pop in my head, like my story, y'all stories, everything that we all go through. And I literally thought about you as I was reading that. So it was dope to literally be like, oh shit, he's going about it right now. Like, this is crazy. So it was like perfect timing. So one, I'm just grateful, I'm honestly ecstatic that we've created this space for people who love to work on themselves to be able to work on themselves. So as I was reading this, you know, one thing aside from everybody's stories that stays in my head is TGF and the vision that we've created. And exactly as Austin just said, like, this is a big vision and all of our visions actually really fit in here. And it's crazy because we've collectively taken it to another level, you know? And as we continuously move, as we continuously introduce new things, as we continuously go throughout our process that we've been going along, as I was reading this, I realized that we were doing it right. Like, this is another one of those moments that we have in every book. I've kind of been waiting on the moment to happen in this book where it's like, yo, this is exactly what we're doing, y'all. Like, it's actually crazy. This is like to a T. As I'm reading it, I'm like, yo, we be having these whole conversations, me and Marcus, bro. Like, real life. As we've all co-created this thing, all of us, we be having these conversations. It's just nuts. So I was grateful and I was very excited. One thing that I just wanted to point out, I think a lot of people talked about, just like the elements of leadership and selling a big dream. It's one thing to have a vision that is big enough for everybody to fit. It's another thing to consistently say that vision, to remind people of it, to stand on it in front of other people that intimidate you, to stand on it in front of people that may not see that vision or that honestly, like, what really inspires you and the reasons why, even though they may be part of it sometimes. And so it's a really crazy space to be in as a leader. And I believe that's why leadership is one of the highest paid skills on the planet, truly, because it takes a different type of person to go through that and to be in that different space. And as he was talking about you being a leader where you're standing in front of everybody else, I don't remember exactly where it was in the book, but he's like, you got to tell everybody what you see. There's an audio, and I'm going to find it, hopefully, but it's by Justin Owens, and it's called The Blind Man or something like that. But he's talking about sitting in a hospital, and there's this guy this guy told him a story. He's sitting in a hospital, and the guy basically got into a really bad accident. They said he was paralyzed, and they said he'll never be able to sit up again, never be able to walk again. So because he was stationed in the hospital, he gets like a hospital roommate, and this other guy comes in. He's like, "What's going on with you?" He's like, "Oh, I got a terminal disease, this, that, and the third, whatever." So they eventually end up becoming really good friends in the hospital because they're there all day, every day with each other. And so every day, the guy with the terminal disease is sitting at the window, and he's like, "Man, you gotta see this." And he starts describing the picture outside of the window. Like, there's kids running around, they're playing. Oh, there's somebody getting married right here by the river, this, that, and the third. Like, crazy, just describing some beautiful sights and really enticing the dude who's laying in the bed who they said will never get up to get up. And this goes on for months. And then eventually, I forgot, but eventually this guy, the guy with the terminal disease dies. And it takes him a while, but the other guy who's sitting there paralyzed is like just remembering everything that he used to talk about in the window, and he's trying to remember his friend. And so one day he musters up the courage and he sits up so that he can clearly see out the window. And as he does, he sees nothing but a brick wall outside the window. and he's tweaking. He literally starts calling the nurses the whole 9 yards. He asks about his friend, everything, and the nurse goes, "Well, he couldn't have told you that. He was blind, like whole time." In order to give somebody else the courage, in order to get somebody else up into a moment that you knew they actually could have, into a piece of, or excuse me, a period of action that you knew they could take, results that you knew that they could get. Sometimes you have to be able to see a vision that is not there. Something that literally was created inside of your heart and placed in there by Jesus Christ himself and God himself. Sometimes you literally have to be able to depict that vision so clearly that somebody else who can't see out the window yet can see that vision. And then once they get into that position of leadership, it's a reality test. And that's what scares off most of the people in leadership, because they have to realize, like, holy crap, this is way harder than I thought, because it's not actually here. We have to literally create this and tell the vision. It's hard. Me and Marcus be in tears talking to each other at some point in time, because it's literally different trying to create something that's never been there before. So think of being blind and having to build it. And that's like leadership. But you commit to following your spirit, live by faith and not by sight. And that's what's cool. He talks about being an evangelist. He talks about everything when it comes to the process of leadership. And it honestly makes so much sense as I was reading it. And it was just a cool moment to realize, like, this is exactly what we're doing. But with that, one other thing that he had mentioned, I marked the page, was being able to see people for their unique gifts. Typically, people have an innate sense of their unique gifts, but in many cases, they're underutilized because there's been no concerted effort on how to best apply them. And, like, that's one thing that I love that we do a pretty good job at here, but I know that we can consistently get better, and we've been consistently getting better as a squad as well. Where everybody's finding their space, their piece of value that they really want to give to the squad and really want to add, and being able to have a space for that. It's honestly necessary, as my man Ed Mylett says. So that is lit. He goes through the different needs: certainty, uncertainty, variety, significance, love, connection, growth, and contribution. Those are the 6 basic needs that drive people. If you get to know how to meet those needs for people, you can understand how to get people to move to action in different ways. You just got to understand who the people are and what motivates them, is what he was saying. And then when it comes to the essence of equanimity, I had that marked as well. I can't even say the word either. But all in all, it was crazy because when he says that's literally, like, I felt like Marcus, it's literally what it takes to get to success and the higher levels of success. You have to literally calm down your brain. And what we talk about being even Steven or steady Eddie, not too high, not too low. You have to literally calm your brain so that you can stay in a mode of consistently executing. You get too high, you'll burn out. You get too low, you'll burn out. You'll get too low, you get depressed. All these different things that happen. You stay even Steven. It's like, if I can keep my energy here, I can honestly take it to another level. If I can sustain. You know what I'm saying? So you get that, like, what I was raised in the entrepreneurship world is called a relaxed intensity. It's something that all of, like, it's dope to be able to see Amber turn up for a second. I think that's the first time she's ever turned up on a call, y'all, that I've seen, at least, that I was present for. Because I was like, whoa, that's the power creator that we took in as a mentee. And it's dope to see people step into that power, and then eventually it gets more and more comfortable, and people can just ignite, like go Super Saiyan. You know how, like, the first time, if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, it's super hard for them to go Super Saiyan. They got to concentrate for days, hours, weeks, months, years in the freaking chamber. And then after they get it down, they could just turn it on, like, quit playing with me. That's like, it's a step to leadership. It's a step to success to be able to do that. And I'm just proud of everybody, because I've been seeing y'all turn on. Austin just turned on. Michelle turned on. Amber turned on. So it's lit, y'all, truly. like from the core. And I'm excited because, as my man Austin was just saying, like starting the year off how we did, I was at Break the Code, just not physically. I was watching the, you know what I'm saying, the live. And if anybody was on the squad live as well, we just tuned in. It was lit. But with that, watching Break the Code to kick off the year, personally for me, even last year to kick off the year in book club, we read my book. And that was fire, bro. We literally read that thing like over my birthday month. That was crazy. It was a crazy moment for me. And to end this year how we are with finishing up The Power of One More, starting Don't Drop the Mic, it's going to be crazy. Power of Awareness, going to be crazy. And then also ending the year / kicking it off with the squad and with TGF at a TGF event. That is going to be the biggest event that we've ever done thus far in history. Being able to literally create history, and the fact that squad knows that this is a historical event. Like when Josh talked about Unlimited, it's crazy because that was talked about in the book, letting people know that they're a part of something that's historical. So I'm excited because reading this book really has just affirmed for me that we are building a massive vision and we're doing it right. And this is a movement that will not be stopped. So I'm grateful for y'all. I'm excited. Let's get it. One more week and then this book is done just about. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass it out to everybody else. Josh, Don, you guys can take it. Okay, Josh, Don. What's up, boys? I don't think Josh is connected to the audio.
Yeah.
There's Don. What up, Don?
I'm popping. Just a
How
second.
you feeling?
Just a second. Bow. What's popping, everybody? It's a beautiful Saturday. The boy got some rest. Much needed rest. Because I did not let myself get rest yesterday after pulling an all-nighter. But we're back, moving and grooving. So I apologize for hopping on late. It was my fault. Going getting ready and stuff. But yo, these chapters, man, it's definitely something that hit me on another level because as I continue to grow, well, I see you over there. Much love. Be careful. As I continue to grow, I've seen different. You grow greater perspective on things, especially leadership, and in that process, I just realizing that there's ways to go about things, and they're like Marcus had touched on it. You can't lead others if you can't lead yourself, and in that process, I've caught myself a lot of times, and I've gotten made aware of like how I was going about leadership, and realize, huh? All right. Realizing I had to lead myself and continue to work on myself, become the best version of myself to help others do the same. And rather than stepping on toes and continuously like trying to force others to do something over time, it just gets to a point where y'all had touched on it as well. All you can do is all you can do, and just continue to do what you said you were going to do. Continuing to work on yourself, be the best you can be, helping others become the best they can be, and in that process, you're creating leaders. And as we go and create leaders, they in turn start to see the vision. And as a leader, that's what our responsibility is, to help create and portray the vision, the overall vision, in what others can see in themselves. And then overall, as a collective, what the vision is together. And I say it on every expansion call, like, I be excited because I know where it is that we were, where it is that we're at, and where it is that we're going. And reading these books together is going to make us a whole lot stronger. So shout out those of y'all who are on here. And again, like I said, I apologize for hopping on late because your boy was sleeping. And then moving into the equanimity part. Yo, bro, real quick, what do you want me to do with your laptop?
The laptop is being used for the recording, so you can just leave it there. Appreciate it.
So, just a sec, y'all.
What's happening down there?
Because it was echoing with Marcus' computer. I was grabbing his backpack. I'm leaving now. But now, on the equanimity chapter, there's something that I hadn't heard as well. I was like, yo, what? But I mean, put two and two together and kind of like understood just from how you say the word and how the word is spelled, like what it kind of meant. But as I dove into the chapter, next to Wi-Fi, how there's different levels to equanimity, and essentially just continuing to grow. And I kind of got ahead of the book and the week, but it falls perfectly in tune with what's coming next. And I've just, as I've grown in my journey with God, it's something that I definitely realized more of, just because like I had made a post, my most recent reel, and in that I was saying there's easy decisions, there's hard decisions, and one of them was anxiety versus peace. And in the current season that we're in, just moving with that we're doing everything right, and knowing that it's only a matter of time as the Ducks continue to align and become realer. We'll see the fruits of our labor. And so with that, just having that faith, and I don't know what's like what it is that I'm facing right now, how I'm gonna do it, what I'm gonna do, but it's gonna come to pass, and everything is gonna work out in God's favor. And continuing just to do all you can do, really with that, praying, reading the Bible, meditating, working on your inner me and your inner peace, because that's the best that we can do to keep ourselves in alignment with uh, equanimity, so that as we continue to go through this journey, things are a lot, things are a lot more in tune with ourselves, or we're more in tune with ourselves for the things to come. And so I'm blessed and grateful. I'm excited to continue to read these books. I know Don't Drop the Mic and Power of Awareness coming up are something special. And then even the next few chapters in this book will hit a lot as well. But much love, y'all. I'll go ahead. Josh, and that boy free.
What's poppin', everybody? Hope y'all having a blessed weekend and a blessed start to y'all Saturday. Always blessed to be on these calls, because just from the knowledge that I get and the value that everybody spits. What really stood out to me is chapter 15. He talks about selling a big dream. And that's basically like what we're doing. We want to bring people on, but you got to sell a big dream, big enough to where people want to come and join the team and make history. That's another thing that he was saying, is making history. Like, this is going to be history. Like, TGF is going to make history, and people always want to be part of something big or something that's going to make history, because it's going to be known for a long, long time. Like, who doesn't want to be part of something big that's going to be recognized, change lives, be global, and just be, a positive outcome into this world that is crazy right now. I truly believe that this first event is going to be one of many, and it's going to make history because it's our first one. So just to be the first one and to be like a part of history already with TGF is truly amazing, and God's timing, of course. But yeah, with that, like, we're all selling a big dream, and to sell that, you gotta believe that you're doing the things that you need to do, and you're walking on the path that you need to walk. Because when people see you doing that, then like they get curious. Like, when they see you doing good, they get curious, and then they start to ask questions. I'm like, what are you doing? What like what team are you on, or how are you doing all the things that you want, like, are dreaming of doing? And that's just being a part of a good group and a like-minded team. He was also saying, well, being a one more multiplier. I believe that everybody in TGF is a one more multiplier, because if you aren't a one more multiplier, that's why you're not in TGF yet. You haven't learned that being a one more multiplier is bringing value, and that's what we're trying to get out of bringing people onto TGF, is to show them that they have value to bring to us, and we have value for them. because having value for each other just makes it a whole lot better for everybody else, because value on value is the best thing. Just learning off of everybody else and, getting knowledge from everybody that most people like me, I didn't even know half the things I know now. And the habits that I've stuck to, I wouldn't have thought, you know, years, years ago that I would be doing the things that I'm doing on a daily basis. And just sticking to that is like finishing the 90 day. The day one, when I started that on day one, I was like, dang, 90 days, like I'm not gonna finish this. And here I am, a day past 90 days is truly crazy, because like habits are real and it does take a little bit to get them started. But once you had them started, it's just a lifestyle. Like this now, being on calls, talking to the team, and just being, a one more multiplier is a lifestyle now. And I'm excited to see what comes from it. I know 2024 is my year. I believe and pray that God is going to be a miracle worker, as he always is. And my breakthrough's coming. I just feel it deep down, because I know that the steps that I'm taking now are going to be the steps that I've needed to take to even do what I want and do what I've dreamt of. And I don't know about y'all, but we making history, man. And I truly believe that. I'm excited for this event. We are less than a week away. So if you ain't got your ticket, look, I don't want to say like be part of history, don't be part of history. That's just how I feel. But I'm gonna leave it at that. I hope y'all have a blessed day and a great weekend. I will catch y'all on Sunday. 90-day run. I'm still gonna be in there.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I think that's everyone, unless Tia wants to
Hey, Marcus,
say a
if you're
little
talking,
boop
we
boop.
can't hear you, bro.
That's crazy. Can you hear me now?
You can hear him?
I can hear him.
I can hear him.
You said she can hear you. Okay, never
Okay,
mind.
you
I
can't
guess
hear
it's
me,
just
Mikhail?
me.
Okay, bet. Well, I appreciate everybody input. I think that's everyone, unless Tia has something to say. Ba-doop, boop, boop, ba-doop. Okay, I think she said, I love y'all.
I don't have anything to say, but I love y'all. I'm just tuning in while I clean. Y'all had
Oh,
some good
gosh.
value though.
Man, what was one big takeaway you got from what everyone said?
I hate when you do this kind of stuff. It's so annoying.
I know.
Mm,
It's okay, I'll be the annoying one.
I would say, oh no, just not take your foot off the gas and just keep showing up because
Man,
we're the core people right here. Like the people who are on here are the ones who are consistently on every single call. So yeah, love y'all.
man, love you, girl. Appreciate the insight and the words. I appreciate everybody truly, and in that process, just stay intentional, as Tia was talking about. For those who don't know, after this month, we're probably going to be moving the 90-day recaps to once a month. Just because one, there ain't been a lot of people on there. Two, allows people, if they're really about it, to take that Sunday and reflect a little more than that they have. And then three, just allow people to really come into tune on a monthly basis who are taking the intentional habits every day to understand exactly what's been working well, what hasn't. I highly encourage those who are in the 90-day or aren't in the 90-day to just reflect over how your week has gone every Sunday and really like discuss those things with yourself above anything else, about the things that you're grateful for, things that you're working on that worked well, the things that you can implement the following week to get closer to your goals, and something that stands out the biggest to you over the past week. You implement that type of reflection on a weekly basis. There's no way that you don't improve unless you're not taking intentional action. And as Ed Mylett was covering over these past 3 chapters, like as a leader, it requires you to do it. It requires you to actually move forward with it and to stay intentional in a way that you might not currently have before or are in an attempt to remain consistent on. So That being said, we're wrapping up the book next week. Look out for the new book promo. I'm going to be posting it in the book club group. But it is Don't Drop the Mic by Bishop T.D. Jakes. My guy goes in. I have been wanting to read this book all year, but I've put it off so that I can read it with you guys. And I'm excited. I really am. Things are changing, and as Miss Shelley said, man, those that actually understand the changes that they need to implicate and then do the things will take advantage of the time that is taken away. So I'm proud of you guys for being and showing up for yourself first and foremost. And let's go disperse and multiply.
Ooh,
Love you
hey,
guys.
real fast, just so everybody knows, this next book, don't have the excuse of, it didn't come in the mail yet, so I ain't read it, because it's in the updated library. So, bare minimum, if you order the physical copy, go download the digital book if it doesn't come in time, just so you can actually be on top of things when it comes to reading. I'll say this on Wednesday night as well, like when we're at the week of, that we're about to actually start the book, but not the digital library, the updated library. It is in there. So, love y'all, and as Marcus said, let's disperse and multiply. Gang, gang, jungle.
Love y'all.